Okay, it is March 10th, 2025. We're here for the City of Rhinelander Common Council meeting. It is 6 p.m. Agenda's been posted. Media has been notified. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Here.
Stephen Jopek.
Here.
Luke Kramer.
Here.
Carrie Michalowski.
Here.
Gerald Anderson. Thomas Barnett.
Here.
Bob Luter.
Here.
Leanne Felton.
Here.
Chris Hannes.
Here. We do have quorum. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you not grab it?
Yeah, I forgot to grab that.
You had one job.
I have one job.
You had one job.
Get it out of your system.
I was going to assume, but that's how we get into trouble.
Mayor's comments, thanks a lot.
So public comment. We do have one. We have our chief, Brian Tanankor.
Good evening. I just want to publicly recognize our streets department for the for them and their snow removal this year. Also the parks department. We had no issues this year at all getting in and out of the department and getting to any of our calls and stuff. And it's an ode to them for their dedication and their commitment to keeping the roads safe and cleaned off. So I think it's worth it to publicly thank them, show some gratitude. That's it.
Thank you. Was anyone else for public comment? Any of the alders? Mr. Barnett?
Yeah, I got this email yesterday. Good afternoon, Mr. Barnett. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend today's City Council meeting. I wish I could be there, but I have several team members out at work and wasn't able to get my shift covered. In my absence, are you able to read the following? Dear City Council, my name is Jeff Weller, and I currently sit on the Rhinelander Oneida County Airport Commission. I am writing you today asking for your help. As you may know, every 5 years the commission seats come up for reappointment. The reappointment responsibility shifts back and forth between the city and the county. Looking back, there is no record of a time when a sitting Rhinelander Oneida County Airport Commissioner who was seeking reappointment wasn't reappointed. Back in February, I kicked off the process by writing and calling the city manager, Patrick Reagan. Patrick and I had a short phone conversation where I expressed my desire to continue as a Rhinelander Oneida County Airport Commissioner. Patrick asked me to resend him my desires in writing. I did. He quickly resent the letter to Mayor Hannes and copied me, so I knew the ball was rolling. To this date, I have received no reply from the mayor. I didn't really think much of it due to the 100% reappointment rate. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm off. Continue Rhinelander Airport Commission. Patrick asked me to resend desires in writing. I did, and he quickly resent the letter to Mayor Hannes, copied him, so I get the ball rolling. To this date, I've received no reply from the mayor. I didn't think much of it due to the 100% reappointment rate, and the mayor is busy. I thought he'd get around to it when he gets around to it. I have a passion for aviation and meteorology. I'm a pilot and FAA certified flight instructor. My contributions to the commission have been numerous, respected, and well received. The Rhinelander Oneida County Airport is thriving. The leadership is thriving, and the airport's impact on the local economy is thriving. That doesn't just happen. It's the result of numerous strategy and planning meetings followed up by expert initiation and implementation. I've been a meaningful part of that, and I don't want it to end. I care deeply about the airport and the people who work there. My actions prove that. On Friday, 3/7/25 at 7 p.m., I was notified by the airport director that my position on the Rhinelander Oneida County Airport Commission was added to the consent agenda at this Monday's City Council meeting. To my surprise and bewilderment, I was not being nominated for reappointment. Bob Luter was. I had many thoughts in my head. How did this happen? What did I do? Why am I being punished? There are no meaningful explanations that lead back to me and my exemplary performance. I'm sure Bob Luter is a great guy, and he's not a pilot or FAA certified flight instructor, qualifications that have served this commission well, especially at a time of heightened aviation security. I am writing you today to reconsider the nomination of Bob Luter, press pause, invite me to speak in front of council. I will gladly walk everyone through the celebrated success of the airport and the airport's leadership team, of which I am proud to be a contributing member. Stand my qualifications up to Bob's and nominate and reappoint me to another 5-year term. I won't let you, the city, or the county down, or the airport. I've proven that. If I can help answer any questions for you, please do not hesitate to call my cell phone. Thank you for your time and consideration, Jeff.
Thank you. Did any of all those have Ms. Mikulowski?
I just wanted to make note that I received the same email.
Mr. Holt?
Yeah, I received the same email as well. I just wanted to clarify the statement in a time of heightened aviation safety. So just in terms of the prescience of what he's referencing.
Was there any other public comment from the alders? Okay. Moving on to number 5, mayor's comments. I have none at this time. Moving on to number 6, public hearings, none apply. Number 7, presentations, none apply. Number 8, proclamations, none apply. Moving on to number 9, which is consent agenda. The only thing I would like to remove, and I did confer with legal counsel, is we can remove Bob Luder from the consent agenda with that appointment as its own thing. So I'm looking just to remove his name, his appointment, and keep everything else under consent. I don't know if there's any objection. Mr. Barnett?
Yeah, I would like that pulled from the consent agenda, but everything else can stay.
Okay, be looking for a motion then.
Yeah, I make a motion to remove the appointments to committees and commissions from the consent agenda.
I'll second that, but I'll point out that as a matter of policy, anybody can remove an item or any item from the consent agenda without a motion or vote.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's correct. Yes.
Correct. So,
But it has to come from the council, it can't come from the mayor. That's why I was trying to indicate that.
That's why I was just trying to say, yeah, let's do that.
so just to clarify, your motion is to remove the complete letter D from the consent agenda.
For discussion, yeah.
Correct. Okay, so Mr. Holt second that. Austin, please take a vote.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Motion passes. So now we'd be moving on to 9D. Do we want to remove just Bob Luder and approve the rest, or do we want to do it as a whole? Mr. Barnett?
I think because of the letter and the points that were made, I think it would be appropriate and necessary to remove Bob Luder from that appointment and reappoint Jeff Weller, since he is seeking reappointment and has done, as far as I know, a great job in the position.
Just for clarification, we're wanting to go ahead and approve the consent agenda first, and then we'll get on to the discussion about the appointment.
Yeah, so my understanding is for public transparency, we cannot add a different name since it hasn't been open to the public. So we could approve all their appointments minus Mr. Luder and then deal with Mr. Luder as a separate issue, or this as a whole. So the question becomes with 9D, do you want to approve it as a whole with a discussion, or do we want to appoint or approve their appointments or deny everyone besides the airport commission first? If that makes sense.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that would be the only one that's showing any concern. The other ones, I haven't heard anything of a concern about them, so it would just be that one.
Ms. Mikulowski?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I don't know if you need a motion for that or not, but.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
since it's been removed, you need a motion
Okay,
to approve
so
everyone.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda item D with removing the Bob Luder appointment
To the airport commission.
to the airport commission, yes.
Joe Peck, second.
Okay, motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. So now we come down to, on the consent agenda, number D, the Rhinelander Airport Commission Bob Luter topic is all that's remaining. So we're looking to see what action. Ms. Michalowski?
So in light of transparency, I think it would be only fair to invite everyone that has applied for this appointment and have them say why they're the best candidate, and then I think it would be appropriate to choose a candidate from that point.
Just clarification, under the rule, under your ordinance, the mayor appoints. Your choice is to approve the mayor's appointment or to deny the mayor's appointment. There's no provision that says the council appoints. So, you can put off the vote by a motion to adjourn to a date certain, or however you want to do that, the vote on the appointment of Bob to Luter to the Airport Commission. But just understand that it's still the mayor's appointment. Just so everybody's clear about that.
Mr. Anderson?
Well, I agree with what Ms. Michalowski just said. I think we need to have some kind of a hearing, or whatever you want to call it, to advise the mayor, whatever. I think I agree it's the mayor's appointment, but I don't want to be, if we vote the appointment down at this point, then mayor has to come back with another one. How does he choose? It seems like we ought to have some contribution to that process. And putting it off to another meeting and having the candidates speak seems like a logical way to assist the mayor in that.
The only thing I would point out is if you do it for one, you should do it for every position. You shouldn't treat one position differently. So if you want every candidate for every volunteer position to come and speak before council, I'm fine with that, but it's going to be a lot, just to be honest. Mr. Holt?
Yeah, going back to what the process is that the mayor makes an appointment and then the council either approves that appointment or doesn't. The question isn't, should we have people come and speak before council? The question is, what was the logic and rationale behind the change? And so that's for the mayor to speak to, but getting back to the city attorney's statement about policy is that the policy is the mayor makes an appointment. We can ask the mayor to justify that appointment, to explain why there's been a change. I recognize, Jeff's point, well, this hasn't ever happened before. Well, nothing ever happens before until the time it happens. So that's not really, I don't know why, but for the council, if we want to change the way that committee appointments are made, we've had this discussion before. We had it about a year and a half ago with another appointment. So that's a different discussion that's not on the agenda. So I think that the only thing that needs to be discussed is explain the rationale, and then the council can decide whether it was a good enough rationale.
Would you like me to do that first, or get to Mr. Jopek first and go? I don't know what.
Are you giving me the power to decide?
Yes.
Ooh. My head
Well,
is just
again, Carrie has a motion. It's just that her motion is, as the parliamentarian, I have to tell you your motion's out of order. And I guess that's my role. Because that's not how the system works. The system is exactly as it was pointed. So out by David. So if somebody wants to make a motion to either approve or disapprove the mayor's appointment, that's how you get it on the table. And then I think David's request is, I'd like to hear from the mayor to tell me why he made the approval before we vote on whether we approve or disapprove the mayor's appointment, is probably the appropriate way of getting to what I seem to think you want to do. Then there's also the concept of somebody could make a motion to move this matter to a date certain, in other words, to put it on the table until the next meeting, but that motion isn't there right now either. Right now, there's only a motion to separate that nomination from, or that appointment from all the rest of them.
No, that's been voted on.
Just a minute, which was voted on. So the only thing that's on the table right now is somehow that's floating there because there is no motion. It's just kind of sitting out there, and somebody's got to make a motion. That's what I was trying to say, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Jopek? Thank you.
But, so I guess I'm confused because I don't want to make a motion to approve or disapprove without hearing the reasoning before I make a motion to approve or, like, I'm not going to move to disprove just because, like,
No,
just.
But all you're doing, Steve, if you put a motion on the table to approve, let's say that we always try to do it in the positive, that doesn't mean you're supporting it. It just means you're putting it on the table so that it can be discussed. Otherwise, it's
Okay.
not on the table to discuss it.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So maybe you do want to make a motion. Or somebody does.
Mr. Barnett?
Is there not a motion on, there is not a motion right now?
Currently,
Okay, so
no.
that's all taken care of. All right. I'm trying to keep everything.
Mr. Kramer?
Kramer, I'll make a motion to approve item D with Bob Luter being appointed to the Airport Commission.
Felton, second.
Motion and second. So appointments, we came up with a process about a year ago when Mr. Holt was correct. We discussed this at council for an ordinance change where we came up with an application form where the city clerk receives all applications, then has them fill out the form, they turn them back into the city clerk. From there, those applications go to me, and then I pick a candidate from there. For the Airport Commission, we had two candidates. We had Bob Luter, who you guys know, and Jeff, who is the current sitting member. The Airport Commission is a unique commission where we appoint one, then the county appoints one because it's 50-50 ownership. So it kind of goes back and forth who gets appointed. Jeff was appointed by the county. I believe it's a 5-year term, if I'm not mistaken. So both of them are highly qualified. I mean, Jeff is a good guy. He's done a lot for the Airport Commission. Part of the reasons that I tilted more towards Bob was a couple. One, we have an agreement with the airport for ownership that dates back to the 50s. In the next couple of years, that needs to be updated and modernized. You know, you don't see too many agreements that are still done with typewriter print. You know, having someone who also sits on this body who's going to have to vote on that new agreement from an ownership point of view, I think has a value. That way he could explain how that commission got to the updated agreement. I also think someone who has the background as Bob, as far as airports, airplanes, and knowledge of working of that, I think is valuable. I also think someone who has such a close connection with small businesses in this town from a marketing point of view, from a city council member, as far as a connection with the chamber has a value. So those are the things that kind of tipped it for me more for Bob. A very wise person said about a year ago that one of the ways you move the needle forward is you do cross-pollination. You know, you bring people in. A term for the Airport Commission is 5 years. It's not a term for life. It's not a judge. You get appointed, you serve your term. And I thank Jeff for what he's done. I mean, by no means this is a negative on him or that he's done something wrong. Jeff did a great job, and he's welcome to still attend these meetings. I mean, it's open to the public. He could attend, he could contribute, and help the airport grow. But I think having a direct connection to the city council going forward with the new contract and the budgets, I think has a great value and the background of Bob. And I would be comfortable yielding my time to Bob if he wants to explain some of his background in this category, just for then council knows what you're getting with this potential candidate.
Sure. So,
Can I tap in here real quick? If we do that, do we not owe it to every other candidate to do the same?
You control how you run your meeting, okay?
I don't think it's fair for him to be able to tell us why he's the candidate for it and nobody else can. That's my opinion.
So my point is, I'm yielding my time to him, and two, Mr. Weathers sent an email to all of you and explained what you read, so this body now knows why Jeff is qualified. I think it's fair to allow the other candidate to have that same opportunity, just to be fair and transparent for the public. Mr. Luter?
Thank you. So whether you know it or not, I've been in the aviation market for 41 years. In those 41 years, I've seen many aspects of aviation and airport operations through military, commercial, private, or general aviation as it's known. I've had interactions with both airports, the FAA, the TSA, and other government agencies, as well as airlines, and have helped in negotiations with airline baggage and handling fees, fuel fees, and also landing and taxiing fees. So I have a little bit to contribute. I also deal with airports around the country, the cities that operate those airports, because some of them are city-owned and not necessarily county or city-owned. So I interact with maintenance facilities around the country. I've worked with maintenance facilities. I've worked at maintenance facilities. And with those maintenance facilities have had a lot of interaction with airports and airport operations and airport management. I don't hold a CFI like Mr. Weller does. I'm not a flight instructor. I don't hold any of those. I'm not even a licensed mechanic. Those are not relevant requirements for bringing a positive movement forward to the airport. Having a basic understanding of aviation and how the airports work, I think, is key. And I believe that I can contribute. And you're not going to hurt my feelings if you decide that somebody else is a better candidate or a better fit. I was asked if I'd like to be part of this. I said I would, because I feel I could contribute. And that's where it ends. If you don't feel like I'm the guy, then I'm not the guy. And I'm all right with that. That's all I have.
Mr. Anderson?
Are we allowed to ask questions? My question is whether
If I could.
there are
sorry,
conflicts of interest.
As a point of information here, we can, if we're going, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we can, if we state that, and to suspend the rules of the meeting for a brief period of time, correct?
As I said, you set your rules
Right.
for your meeting.
We do have to state it, that we are
Well,
suspending the.
Right now, you're operating under Robert's Rules of Order. Robert's Rules of Order says you have a nomination or an appointment on the floor, and you're deciding whether or not to support that appointment. You can have any discussion amongst any one of you as to whether or not you want to support that. If Gerald wants to ask a question about why would I ever support this person for that nomination, he has that right to do that. It's all part of the motion. The motion is to approve an individual. You can ask all the questions you want. As I told you, you could also move to suspend the rules. I don't know what you would accomplish doing that, but as I said also, you could also say, I'm going to table this till some other time in the future. You control your own meeting.
And just to clarify, I believe Mr. Anderson's question was actually going to be directed to legal about, is this a conflict of interest? So I think that's appropriate.
Well, it's also to him as to whether he foresees any conflicts of interest
So I don't know if,
between his business and his.
yeah, I don't know if Steve, if you want to.
Yeah, I've already addressed the issue of conflict of interest because it came up earlier today. And there's no monetary benefit to Mr. Luter. I asked him that direct question, whether he sold any products, whether he had any relationship that would benefit him or his family or his business. He said, no, there is not. I mean, I have no reason to disbelieve that. I haven't seen anything or found anything that would suggest that. And that would be the only way that he would have a conflict of interest. Just like someone sitting on the planning commission, you know, you'll make a decision with regard to a business or a development. Sure, it could have a benefit to you sometime in the future, sometime place in the future, but unless you have a personal or your family has a personal financial interest, or if you have a family member that's working there or something, I don't see any conflict in that sense, because councilmen, unless the ordinance says they cannot, can serve on every committee and commission. That's not a problem. The only one you can't serve on is the Ethics Committee, and yet you do have a representative on the Ethics Committee, but they can't vote. And that makes sense why that's there. But every one of your other ordinances allow, there's no prohibition. There's some number limits of how many members can be from the council, but there's nothing that prohibits a councilman from serving. If that answers your question, Gerald.
Well, I think my question is more from the viewpoint of the Airport Commission. Would they view his business activities as a conflict of interest? I can't see appointing someone who is going to have problems on that end. Apparently not making sense.
The Airport Commission does not have the right to tell the mayor or this body who should be the commissioner. They don't have that right.
I'm not trying to give them that right. I would like, it seems just too complicated to spring on us at one meeting, so I would move that this be tabled until the next meeting.
Barnett, second.
Okay, motion second.
The motion to table is not debatable, you need to vote on it.
Correct. Clerk, if you'd like to take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
Bob Luter,
Abstain.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion table is approved. Okay, so that takes us to 10. Oh, no, you're right. Sorry.
Have we not approved the rest of the consent agenda? Yeah, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
You approved all the other,
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, wait, point of order. Point of order. Austin, go back. I believe we approved everything but D. Then we approved everyone on D besides Bob Luter.
Correct. We have Mikulowski motion to approve.
Go ahead.
Approve consent agenda item D with the removal of Bob Luter's appointment to the Airport Commission.
So you just did D, you haven't done the rest of the agenda.
No, we did that prior. So we did the whole consent minus appointments, appointments minus Bob, tabled Bob.
No.
I don't have the original.
I hate to disagree, Mr. Mayor, but both Austin and I have nothing of a motion. I was keeping notes. To approve the whole.
So then we're consent agenda, well, we could always double do it just to play safe. So it's consent agenda minus D.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the bills and claims in the amount of $4,593,381.69.
Joe Peck, second.
Okay, motion and second. Not seeing any discussion. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Bob Luter,
Aye.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Motion approved. Moving on to 10, ordinances, none apply. Moving on to 11, unfinished business, none applies. Moving on to 12, new business. Discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-34. This will be to the city fee schedule. I refer to our city clerk.
So this is just updating the city schedule of fees. As you know, you did change the weights and measures ordinance previously. So now we are just changing the fees to accurately reflect the time spent from the clerk's office to administer that licensing program.
Luter, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-34, approving an adjustment to the City of Rhinelander fee schedule.
Hold second.
Motion second. Any discussion on said motion? Not seeing all the, on those, it's a resolution. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Bob Luter,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett, Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 12B, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-35. This will be an application for a transfer of a Class B liquor and beer license. Refer to the city clerk.
So we have a application for a transfer of license. This is going to be for the Porky's 2 bar, and it is literally just moving next door, but they do, state statute requires it to go in front of council since you are changing the address of that location. It's already been inspected by fire department, police department. Nothing's wrong with the application on our end. It looks good to go.
So before we get to, I just got a question for legal. Since that current site, I believe, still has a valid liquor license, is there any issue having two licenses for one address?
Yes, you have to have one turned. Yes, you cannot have two liquor licenses at the same address. One has to be turned in before the new one can be issued, but you could approve a new license subject to the old one being turned in.
Because that's still valid until June 30th, correct?
Correct. So I will not issue the license until I receive the previous license.
So just something to keep in mind, Mr. Barnett?
Oh, no, you actually asked exactly what I was going to ask. The other thing was, does that count against the amount of liquor licenses we can, no, it doesn't, okay.
So I guess it's just a transfer.
Okay.
Ms. Michalowski?
Yeah, so back when I was on the planning commission, I remember that building having some inspection issues. Are all those issues taken care of?
This is actually old Sunset Junction. The Porky's 2 building is the one that
Oh,
you're
okay.
questioning. And I did go through there and inspect the building myself, so they're
Okay.
good to go.
So same name, wrong property. So, Mr. Holt?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-35, approving the application for a transfer of a Class B beer and liquor license from Catherine Davis.
Michalowski, second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Carrie Michalowski.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Bob Luter.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-36. This will be a list of proposed elected officials submitted by the city clerk.
Kramer, I'll make a motion to accept proposed resolution 2025-36, approving the list of proposed election officials as submitted by the city clerk.
Barnett, second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Clerk, if you could take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Michalowski.
Aye.
Bob Luter.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 13, communications. I don't know if, since she's not here, if there's anything you want to speak to on that, Patrick?
On the communications, I don't know, sorry, I'm blanking on you. Are you from Art Start? Yeah, I believe we met. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you want to say anything. Basically, their boiler has gone bad. They're looking at a pretty expensive repair here for this, and met with Ashley last week, and she was inquiring as to whether the city could help with this. You have an agreement for this that says that the Art Start building, the maintenance is on Art Start. So if you want to change something, you know, you probably want to reopen that agreement and change that agreement if that's what you want to do. That would be the proper thing to do. I will tell you this, we don't have any money budgeted for this, and we had to cut a position, if you remember, to make the budget work. So there's some decisions to be made there. But Mayor, I don't know if you want to go on to the next, because the mayor asked for it to be on future agenda items.
Yeah, so since communication isn't an actionable item, just move on to 14. So that I did ask for the first meeting in April to come before you guys. Is there anything else anyone else would like to add to the future agenda items? Mr. Barnett?
I don't have anything to add, but is it appropriate to ask a question about the future agendas?
Sure.
And this is just for informational law. I noticed that two of the future agenda items that have been on there for a long time are no longer on there, and I was just wondering, are they taken care of? Are they not taken care of? One being the fee waiving topic, and Patrick, help me out. Was there another one?
Short-term rental.
Short-term rental, yes.
If I may,
Yeah.
Mayor. So the short-term rental, which is Mr. Jopek, we're currently working on it right now. Veronica Tenoncourt, Jerry Fitzgerald, Brandon Caraba, Lori Lenton, Tom Giroux, we're all working on that right now. So, put it back on, but it's going to be coming, it's going to go to Steve when we get an ordinance that we're comfortable with, and then it will go through the process.
And the
Yeah,
one,
I was just wondering.
Yeah, and the one with Michalowski, actually, I was talking to you today, we can't remember exactly why, probably would come back if it does pre-budget hearings, just to talk that way. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was put on here when we got the total amount that we waived while we went into the budget cycle. So at this point, until we see our budget, it's kind of mute. So, anything anyone like to add to the future? Mr. Anderson?
I think we need to have some discussion about how we handle these appointments to committees and commissions. I don't agree with the idea that they're all equal. Some are more significant than others and deserve more explanation from the mayor. And I guess, if it's appointment of people for elections or something like that, I'm not asking that we be told why the people are qualified or who else applied and got rejected for what reason, but the major committees and commissions, it seems like we
Point of order,
deserve more
this is just for
explanation.
future agenda items, it's not for discussing. But, all right, it sounds like we're discussing it.
No.
That's why.
Yep, we could add that, appointments. Anything else for future agenda items? Okay, not seeing that, it is 6:36, meeting adjourned.